This one time, me and my girlfriend were eating lunch when I matter-of-factly said, "I think pickles are gross." She looked at me with this intense look of disappointment and said, "You have never been more wrong about anything." And I said, "No, pickles are gross. They're slimy. They're a mixture of the two worst tastes, sourness and vinegar. And they're basically just a cucumber's smelly cousin." And then my girlfriend had this look of shock and said, "I gotta go." So she stomps out of the room and slams the door. Now, I'm sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, did I actually just start a fight over my opinion on pickles? Why is she angry at me for not liking the same food she likes? That's so immature. I mean, if it's really that big of an issue, you can just tell me. You don't need to go and abandon ship. So I sit there and I start to get angry. Why won't she talk to me about this? This is insane. Maybe she doesn't care enough about me to argue. Maybe this is just an indication of a way, way bigger problem. And then I realize this would be the perfect time to bust out one of the most powerful tools in the emotional intelligence toolbox: perception checking. My name is Damian Barton, and today we're going to talk about perception checking so we can figure out how to address behavior that bothered us without making the other person feel attacked. Let's get into it. We constantly tell ourselves a story about why someone is acting the way they are. In psychology, we call those explanations attributions. We attribute behavior with specific motivations. That guy cut me off in traffic because he's a jerk. My mom calls me so often because she loves me. My girlfriend sent a short text saying goodnight instead of a long text, so she must be angry with me. When we make these attributions, we're making assumptions about other people's behavior. The problem with making assumptions about why someone did something is that we're often wrong. We aren't in their head. We don't actually know what they're thinking. We can make guesses, but we don't know for sure. So problems pop up when we tell ourselves a story about why someone just behaved the way they did. We can get sent down this wild goose chase for a goose that doesn't exist. We tell ourselves a whole story that isn't true. We can get hung up on a problem that just isn't there. Making assumptions can lead to fights that never needed to happen. I don't know if my girlfriend was actually angry about me insulting pickles, or if she was just late for something and she forgot to tell me about it. So if she gets home and I say, "What is your problem? Why did you just stomp out of here and slam the door?" She might actually become angry or defensive just because of the accusatory tone I'm using when I'm asking the question. And that could lead to a whole new fight because she feels like I'm being disrespectful. So when we ask about why someone did the thing they did, we don't want to attack them. We want to get the actual answer of what's going on through their head. So how do we effectively do this? It's time for the takeaway tip. We're going to use a 3-step process called perception checking. Now, the goal of this is to understand why someone did something without triggering a defensive response. So the first thing we're going to do is describe their behavior in neutral language. I noticed that you blank. I noticed that you ran out of here in a hurry. You see, I'm not applying a positive or negative spin to their behavior. I'm just stating exactly what they did in as neutral of a tone as possible. Then we provide 2 possible explanations. Were you blank or blank? Were you angry about what I said about the pickles, or did you have somewhere to be that you just forgot about? And then we're going to request feedback and clarification with the phrase, "What's going on?" So altogether, it should sound like this. I noticed that you ran out of here in a hurry. Were you angry about what I said about the pickles, or did you have somewhere you needed to be that you forgot about? What's going on? In the pickle example, she really was just running late and had to race out of here to pick up her parents from the airport. But if I had ran with my assumption that she genuinely was really offended by my opinion on pickles, then I could have escalated it and started a whole nother fight that never needed to happen. So remember, don't assume why someone did something. More often than not, you're probably wrong. And if you want to address behavior that bothered you without making the other person feel attacked, use the 3-step process of perception checking. Don't forget to like and hit that subscribe button to be notified every time a new episode is released. If you want to take part in the Barton Blueprint for Emotional Intelligence's mission to destigmatize mental health, the most helpful thing you can do is share this episode with your friends and family. The more people who share, the faster this information is going to get out into the world to the people who really need it. Also, if you like this show and want more information, go ahead and follow us on all of our social media. There's a bunch of extra content like infographics of some of the takeaway tips and key concepts, as well as some fantastic mental health quotes by many of the most notable names in the field of psychology. The links are down in the description below. And if you want to know more about any of the research used in this episode, I always include the links in the description below. And as always, thank you for taking care of each other and taking care of yourself. I'll see you next week.